everyone, welcome back to my channel and thank you for clicking on this video. Today we are going to be talking about a more recent case of a missing 37-year-old mother out of Navarre, Florida. At 7 p.m. the night of Sunday, March 27th, 2022, so less than a week ago, 37-year-old Cassie Carli left her father's home on Pawnee Drive in Navarre, Florida, where she was residing, and headed out to meet the father of her child, Marcus Spanevelo. She was going to pick up her 4-year-old daughter, Sailor, from him, and she shouldn't have been gone long at all. It's only about a 10-minute drive, according to Google Maps. In fact, she told her dad that she would be right back. Cassie and Marcus shared custody. I believe Marcus got Sailor every other weekend, so she was getting her daughter back for her shared time. It was a scheduled custody exchange. The place they were meeting was just down the road from where Cassie lived with her dad. They planned to meet at Navarre Beach near a local bar and grill called Juana's Pagodas. This was not their normal meeting place. Marcus lived in Panama City, Cassie lived there in Navarre, so they normally met at a Walmart in Destin, which is halfway between Panama City and Navarre. They always met in a well-lit public place with other people around. This day, though, Marcus happened to be in Navarre already, so he just told Cassie he would meet her there in town, I guess. So Cassie drove across the causeway to meet him and pick up their daughter. Cassie's father, Andrew, was back at the house and he had fallen asleep while she was gone. And he found it odd when he woke up 3 hours later and Cassie and Sailor were not home. He tried calling Cassie multiple times and he did finally receive a text back from Cassie's phone saying, "I'm sorry, car was acting up and I broke my phone. Marcus is working on it. I will stay at his place tonight. He is paying me some money to do some stuff around his house." Her dad then asks if she is in Panama City Beach. She responds, "No, the screen is jumping all over the place. Let me see if he can get this fixed and I'll call you." But she didn't call. And those were the last texts he received from Cassie, and she did not return home. On Monday morning, Cassie's father, Andrew, and Cassie's sister, Rayanne, continued to try to call Cassie, but the calls went straight to voicemail. Andrew attempted to reach Marcus because he was the last person to be around Cassie and see Cassie. Marcus would not answer Andrew's phone calls, but did text him saying that he dropped Cassie off in the middle of nowhere in Destin because she was acting crazy. Now, Cassie was supposed to be starting a new job on Monday at Eglin Air Force Base, and when she didn't show up to work and still hadn't returned home, her father did file a missing persons report. Now, per the family's Facebook page, witnesses have confirmed that Cassie approached Marcus's vehicle and did not return to her car prior to Marcus exiting the parking lot. Beyond Cassie arriving in the parking lot, they have not received any evidence that Cassie was seen any time after meeting up with Marcus. Cassie's car was found in the Juana's Bar and Grill parking lot near the water tower or the boat ramps on Navarre Beach 2 days later on Tuesday, March 29th. Her purse was inside the car. They have not said what was inside her purse, only that there were items that she likely wouldn't have wanted to leave behind. Her family did state in a news interview that her phone was not in her purse, and her phone, I believe, is still missing as of right now. Now, I don't know about all of you, any ladies that are watching, but I don't go anywhere without my purse. Even if I'm just running to pick kids up from school, going to a friend's house, wherever I'm going, the purse goes too, and I never leave it in my car. Maybe that's just me. I think the majority of women take their purse with them when they get out of their car. Now, someone responded perfectly on Facebook to the news of the purse being left behind. They said something along the lines of, "Damn the purse, no woman on earth willingly leaves her child behind," and that is absolutely right. I have seen where people have stated that Cassie always wanted to be a mom and her little girl was her everything. I don't personally know Cassie, but I don't believe for a second that she would take off and that she left that baby girl behind willingly. No freaking way. Cassie's car is now in police impound and is being examined for evidence. There has been no cell phone activity or any activity on Cassie's financial accounts since she disappeared. The authorities did check into that. They are checking surveillance video. They haven't said whether they've seen anything on camera yet that I have been able to find anyway. Now, little Sailor, Cassie's daughter, was also missing in the beginning of all of this, but she has since been found with her father Marcus over 4 hours away from Navarre in Birmingham, Alabama. On Wednesday, March 30th, detectives with the sheriff's office drove to meet with Marcus in Birmingham. They interviewed him, and then the detectives returned to Florida. When they had asked Marcus why he was in Alabama, he said he was there for work. Police questioned him, but they haven't released what exactly he said. They brought in Alabama Child Services while they were there to check Sailor. Sailor seemed fine, according to them, I guess, because the Child Services agent and police left Sailor there with her dad. A lot of people are commenting on social media wondering why Sailor hasn't been taken from Marcus. Believe me, I'm just as ticked as everyone else that he is still allowed to have her since he was the last person to see Cassie. But they don't have any evidence yet that he's done anything, although in my opinion, it's pretty obvious. And he still hasn't been named a person of interest. So unfortunately, they may not have a choice other than to leave her with her father for now. Cassie's family did file for temporary custody of little Sailor, but unfortunately, a judge denied the request just this past Thursday. Now, in a video done by Carly's best friend Sam, Sam says, now these are her words, not mine, but she says that Marcus is a known abuser. The video is heartbreaking. I will play it for you now, but please keep in mind this was before authorities found Sailor and Marcus in Alabama.
Most of you know my friend Cassie Carli. I've tagged her. She's tagged me in a million things over the last several years. At 7 p.m. yesterday, Cassie went to pick up her child from a scheduled custody exchange or a parent exchange, whatever it's called. I don't know. It's irrelevant. She was picking up her child from her child's father, who is a known abuser. His name is Marcus Spanevelo. Many of you know him. He lives in the Panama City area. He comes to Destin and Fort Walton, Navarre area all the time. Many of you maybe even be friends with him on Facebook. He drives a large dually, black or navy blue in color, and usually pulls a white enclosed trailer behind it. Yesterday at 7 p.m., they were scheduled to meet in Navarre so that Cassie could pick up her daughter. Cassie never came home. Her father received a text message from her 3 hours later stating that she was having car trouble and that her cell phone was dying. Cassie never came home. This morning, her father received a text message from Marcus Spanevelo stating that Cassie had started going crazy and that he was bringing her to my house. Cassie was never brought to my house. His story has since changed multiple times. Santa Rosa County deputies, Sheriff's Office has been alerted. Okaloosa County has been alerted, and all the surrounding areas. There's an active search now for Cassie Carly. And her child, Sailor. Cassie drives a Nissan Varenza. It's gray. The police have been unable to locate her vehicle. They have been unable to locate Marcus Spanevelo. I'm going to post photos in the comments. If I knew how to do it live, I would, of Cassie and of Sailor. I do not have a photo of her vehicle. Please just Google Nissan Varenza and be on the lookout for her vehicle. Be on the lookout for a large dually truck pulling a white trailer. Based on the text message sent by Marcus Spanevelo and the fake text message sent by Cassie, we believe that Cassie is in serious danger. There have been texts and messages seen on Facebook. Marcus is from Brazil, and we believe he is trying to leave the country with Sailor. We also believe that he has done serious harm to Cassie. Please, please, share this video. Please be looking for Cassie and Sailor. They were supposed to meet at Juana's in Navarre yesterday. If you work there, if you know someone who works there, ask them, share her photo. Ask them if they saw her yesterday at 7 p.m. Ask them if they saw her vehicle yesterday around 7 p.m. There is a good chance that at that meeting, the worst happened to Cassie, and he disposed of her vehicle. If you know anyone who drives for Uber or Lyft, ask them, did they pick up a 30-something-year-old male traveling with a blonde 4-year-old little girl? Any information that you have, please notify Santa Rosa County Sheriff's Department or Okaloosa County Sheriff's Department. Again, please share this vehicle. I can't talk, I can't think, I'm sorry. Share this video, share her photos. I'm going to make the post public. I'll make the photos public, and I need your help. Please help me find my friend.
Marcus Spanevelo has not officially been named a person of interest or a suspect, which baffles the heck out of me. He was the last person to see her. Her car stayed there in the parking lot where they met, and his did not. She's nowhere to be found now. Here's a little bit of that press conference that the police held.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for coming. We're going to talk about a missing persons case today. A Navarre woman, Cassie Carly, 37 years of age, was last seen Sunday the 27th behind Juana's Pagoda in the parking lot. She was there to meet Marcus Spanevelo, who I think also has his photograph as well. They have a child in common, a 3-year-old girl. They were met there to do a child exchange. That was the last time that we know of that Cassie was seen. The next day, Monday the 28th, about midday, we received a call from Cassie's father reporting her missing. The next day, Tuesday the 29th, we find Cassie's car behind Juana's Pagoda. And what we found concerning was, inside that car was Cassie's purse. And as you know, most women don't leave their purse behind when they go somewhere. So that caused us a little concern. Then, Wednesday the 30th, we located Marcus in Birmingham, Alabama. 3 detectives from Santa Rosa County drove up there to interview him. They made contact with him and also with Sailor, the daughter, and they called out Alabama Child Services, who checked over the girl, and that was that for that part. So they interviewed him and came back here. Right now, we're currently in several different, I guess you could say, phases of this investigation, but we would like to thank Okaloosa, Walton, and Bay SO for their assistance, as well as FDLE and the FBI. Currently, like I said, it's ongoing investigations. I don't know how many questions I can answer, but feel free to ask me what you want to. So, yes, ma'am.
Are there any specific spots that you are searching right now, or any specific efforts that you can share with us?
Not at this time. I can say the search is ongoing, but I can't tell you any certain locations.
Can you confirm whether the search is beyond Santa Rosa County?
Yes. Yes.
Can you give us any information about why some of the people involved in the search went to Freeport yesterday?
I don't know the answer to that one.
Okay.
I mean, we didn't send them there.
No, it was the community-led search.
Okay, yeah, I don't know. Yes, ma'am.
We've talked to friends and family who all point their fingers toward Marcus when it comes to information that could lead to finding Cassie, and they believe he may know something about her disappearance. Do you feel like that's a fair statement?
Well, I can say it's an ongoing investigation, and he was the last one to see her that we're aware of. So obviously, we are intent on speaking with him again. Yes.
Have any restrictions been put on him about leaving where he's at or the country?
Not by us, no. Yes.
Can you give us any sort of insight into what his story of events were when you interviewed him?
No, I can't.
Is there anything beyond just the purse being with the vehicle that leads you to believe that she didn't just walk off on her own? That you can tell us.
Yeah, not that I can speak to right now. But like I said, obviously, you know, I've been married 32 years, and I'll tell you, my wife goes nowhere without her purse. So to think that she just left it there and just walked off is, you know, that's what concerns us.
Did you interview the child, or was there anything from the story about the drop-off from the child?
No, we did not interview the child. Now, like I said, Alabama Protective Services responded out, and I can't really comment on what they said. Yes?
What was his connection to Birmingham? Was he like in the process of leaving, or does he live there, or what?
No, I think he had a job site up there that he works at.
When you say her purse, is that like all of her, like she left her ID, all that stuff was still in the car, or just a purse?
There were things in the purse we won't comment on, but there's things in the purse that, like I said before, we don't think she would just up and leave.
She was last seen almost 4 days now. Can you speak to whether that's concerning to keep going yet another day with no sign of her?
Oh yeah, it's very concerning. I mean, you know, and we take everything seriously. Missing persons cases, a lot of them, you know, we find the person, everything's fine. But usually you don't go 4 days without hearing from them, or them using a credit card or a cell phone or something. And right as of now, we have none of that. So yeah, we're concerned.
So you can confirm that she's had no cell phone or credit card activity since Sunday?
That we're aware of.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's why we have, you know, we didn't just assign a detective. Our entire major crimes unit is working this. So you've got 10 detectives that's pretty much all they're doing right now is trying to locate Cassie.
At any point, do you plan to identify a person of interest in her disappearance if this continues?
Well, yeah, definitely. If we develop a lead, or we develop information that points to a person solid, yeah, we'll have another press conference without a doubt. Yes.
How many witnesses have you guys interviewed, approximately?
Ballpark.
There's really not a whole lot of witnesses.
So I would say 5 or 6 right now. Because when you start talking about witnesses, they meet by themselves together in this parking lot to do a child exchange. I mean,
Is it typical to get major crimes in on the first couple days of a missing person case?
it is when certain things pop up, like you find her purse in the car. I mean, that worries us. So yeah. Yes.
Have you all had any luck with surveillance video or anything in that area? I know it's out on the beach, but.
Yeah, we have. We've seen a bunch of video. The problem we have with some of it is, you know, it's getting dark and that kind of thing. So we're still examining video. So yes.
You said that you're concerned and worried. Can you speak to, are you specifically concerned that it's a possible kidnapping or any other crime? I mean, her life could be in danger?
Well, you know, when we look at this, we consider her missing, endangered. In other words, we don't know what happened to her. We don't have any evidence specifically pointing to a homicide or abduction or any of those. We just know that the way she has gone missing concerns us greatly.
And you said that, responding to another question, that the search has gone outside of Santa Rosa County. Can you say that it has gone outside of the state? Have you contacted other agencies?
Yes.
Do you believe Cassie's alive?
I'm not really going to comment on what I believe. It doesn't really matter what I believe. I mean, the evidence is what we go on, and right now we don't have enough evidence to determine if she's alive or if she's deceased. We don't have that kind of evidence right now.
Did you call the FBI to get involved, or did they volunteer? How did that
They
process go?
volunteered.
And where do you go from here?
They'll be examining evidence for us, certain types of evidence that we don't have the capability of looking into. They'll take that. FDLE, same way. They have certain software programs and things we don't have that they do, and hopefully they can help us. Yes, ma'am.
Were you ever able to determine if there was any problems with Cassie's car that you guys have?
We're not going to comment on that, but yeah, we do have the car in custody, so yes. Anything else? Okay, thank you very much.
Did you all notice that they had Marcus's picture up for the press conference, which I don't believe they normally do if they're not looking for that person or if they haven't been named a person of interest? I thought that was pretty interesting, and I wonder if it was intentional to kind of send a message without saying it out loud. It could be because they just wanted people to remember his face too, in case they saw him out in a certain area after the 27th. I don't know. It was just something I noticed. Police say Marcus is cooperating, and they do plan to speak to him again. Santa Rosa County Sheriff Bob Johnson has said there are no restrictions on Marcus Spanevelo's travel, which is very concerning. Marcus is from Brazil, and I believe many people, including Cassie's family, are very worried that he may try to leave the United States with little Sailor. In fact, there have been comments from Marcus's mother on Facebook to Marcus saying she is counting the days and the hours until she gets to see Sailor. Marcus's mother lives in Brazil. To me, that sounds like she knows Marcus has plans to bring Sailor there. And allegedly, Marcus has threatened to leave the country with Sailor before. I don't find it likely that Cassie would ever have been okay with Marcus taking Sailor to Brazil. No way. Marcus has taken Sailor before and refused to return her. And Cassie and her family had to get the courts involved to get Sailor back to her mother. So this has happened before. Sheriff Bob Johnson said there are 10 investigators with his major crimes unit working specifically on Cassie's case. He said Okaloosa and Walton County Sheriff's offices have been assisting, as well as law enforcement from other states and the FBI. Cassie's family has been conducting searches daily with help and volunteers from the community. Escambia Search and Rescue has also joined in the search. ESAR is a volunteer organization made up of over 100 volunteers, I believe, and they are committed to helping others through an array of search and rescue efforts. They came out to help search the water on Friday with sonar equipment, primarily the Santa Rosa Sound area and also around the docks and the shoreline by Juana's Bar and Grill. So that is awesome that they have joined in the efforts. There is a Facebook page set up for Carly made by her family and friends. Please go check it out and show your support. I do have it linked down in the description of this video, as well as the Facebook page for the Santa Rosa County Sheriff's Office. Now, I do want to read something from the family's Facebook page in regards to anyone wanting to help in the search. If you do not live locally, you can still help. The search area is Jefferson County, Alabama, and all roads leading from there to Pensacola, Florida, and Panama City. You can search in your area. Look for areas of concealment along the roadway. Look for rest stops and restrooms. Look in dumpsters. Look for buzzards in the air or unexplained odors. Look at campgrounds. Marcus was pulling an enclosed trailer he converted into a living space. If you find Cassie, do not trample the area, touch anything, or take photos. Call 911 immediately and wait for law enforcement to respond. I do want it to be known that the family has set up a GoFundMe. The one I have linked in the description box is the only one they have, so please beware of copycats trying to gain from this family's pain. If you see any other sites asking for donations, they are not set up or approved by the family. There is an old GoFundMe that was set up on Cassie's behalf for help with legal fees, and I'm only mentioning it because if you read what Cassie wrote in that GoFundMe, you get some insight on what she was going through with Marcus concerning custody of Sailor and some of the things he tried to pull. In my opinion, it's also proof that Cassie would never ever leave Saylor. She was fighting very hard to protect her child. I'm going to read you the portion Cassie wrote now. Hello, dear family and friends. I am writing to you today with a heavy heart. I never imagined that I would be in a position in my life where it would be necessary to write this letter to you. Nonetheless, here I am. So where do I begin? Let me begin at the beginning. In July of 2017, on the heels of one of the most traumatic events in my life, I met the man who became the father of my precious daughter. Like so many relationships I know, I was swept up in hidden deceit known as charm. This man was a master at the game of manipulation, and though I could see all the warning signs of an abuser, I believed his excuses and became stuck in his web of narcissistic lies. Just months into the relationship, I discovered that I was pregnant. Let me be clear, I have never regretted my decision to become a mother. Saylor is truly the light and love of my life. During my pregnancy, this man's abusive control and manipulation escalated. But having battled infertility in my first marriage, I desperately wanted a family. So I justified his erratic behavior as long as I could. By the grace of God and great friends, I chose to end the relationship with him. I knew that raising my daughter alone would be better than exposing her to a toxic home life relationship. When I ended the relationship with him and he no longer had control of my mind, his web of lies and deceit spread like wildfire. He filed dozens of false police reports. He called CPS so many times I nearly came to know most of the staff by name. The passive-aggressive abuse was so bad I had to trespass him from my apartment on more than one occasion. In 2019, I filed for sole custody of my daughter. The court allowed him to have bi-monthly visitation and ordered him to pay child support. To date, he owes me over $10,000 in support. A few weeks ago, due to child support delinquency, the state was set to suspend his driver's license. Just days after that notice, he called CPS to report yet another false claim. He was allowed to pick up my daughter that day for his regularly scheduled visit. For over 2 weeks, I had no contact with my daughter or knowledge of her whereabouts. I called everyone I knew. I sought help from local police and every government agency I knew. No one could or would help me. My only hope was a powerful attorney who would not fall for his manipulation or believe his lies. But great attorneys are expensive. My family has levered everything we have to try to raise the $10,000 needed to fight this man in court. Currently, I am over $5,000 short. I need your help. My daughter needs your help. Foremost, please pray. Please pray and consider donating to this GoFundMe. Every single dollar raised will be used to protect my daughter. Thank you for your prayers and support. I love and value each of you. Cassie. So like I said, you can kind of see what Cassie was going through and that she and Marcus were going through custody issues. And you also see how much she loved her little girl and was absolutely devoted to protecting her. Now, Marcus drives a black Chevy Denali truck, and he's often pulling a 30-foot navy blue enclosed trailer, which he has apparently converted into a living space. It's huge and would be hard to miss. So if anyone was in the Navarre Beach area on March 27th and remembers seeing it or seeing anything at all even after that day that they may not have realized was odd at the time, but the info could be beneficial now, please contact authorities. Crime Stoppers is offering a $3,000 reward. You can call them at 850-437-7867. You can also text tips to them at 8477. You can also send tips via their website, www.srccs.com. Cassie is 37 years old. She is 5 feet 5 inches tall, 150 pounds, with blonde hair and green eyes. She has pierced ears, a mole on her right cheek, a tattoo of a tribal mark on her lower back, and a tattoo on her foot of a lizard. She has been described as someone who loved life and was always laughing and telling jokes. She is an amazing mother, sister, daughter, and friend. Her sister says she was in the best place mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, and looking forward to a future with her daughter Saylor. She was extremely close with her family and spoke with them daily. Cassie would never have gone this long without contacting her family, and she never would have left her family, especially her daughter, of her own free will. If you have any information on Cassie's whereabouts or what happened to her, again, please contact Crime Stoppers 850-437-7867. Again, you can also text tips to them 8477 or go to srccs.com to leave, tips anonymously if you don't feel comfortable talking to anyone. You may also contact the Santa Rosa County Sheriff's Office Major Crimes Unit at 850-983-1190. I do want to hear everyone's thoughts on this, so let me know down in the comments, and of course, I'm going to let you know what I think. If Cassie was really having car trouble, I feel like she would have asked her dad to come pick her up. He was close by. Not only was her dad just down the road, her family has stated that she knew tons of people within a 1-mile radius of Juana's, and she would have called one of them before ever getting into Marcus's truck or going anywhere with him. She did not trust this guy. She's not going to get in his car for any reason. If her phone was also dead or broken, like the text said, she most likely could have gone into Juana's Bar and Grill to use their phone to call for help, in my opinion. According to the Juana's Pagoda's website, they're open until 9 p.m. each night, so they should have still been open when Cassie was there in the parking lot meeting Marcus. I don't believe those texts came from Cassie, though. I believe it was Marcus sending those texts from her phone. I also wonder if he even had their daughter Sailor with him when he got there to meet Cassie. I am totally speculating, but if he planned to do something to Cassie, I doubt he would bring Sailor along because she's 4. She's old enough to talk, and if he didn't have Sailor with him, maybe that could have also been a way to get Cassie into his vehicle. Maybe he said something or used their daughter to kind of lure Cassie. I really, really hope that police have searched that truck and the 30-foot trailer. Now, worst case scenario, Marcus has done something to Cassie which has ended her life, in which case her body needs to be found, justice needs to be sought, and little Sailor needs to be returned to her maternal family. Best case scenario, in my opinion, is that he's kidnapped Cassie and she is alive and being held somewhere, in which case she needs to be found immediately and returned safely to her family. I really hope this is the case. I don't believe she was riding in his car and then insisted he drop her off in Destin, all by herself in the middle of nowhere, with no phone, and was just fine with him taking Sailor. Nope. So I believe Marcus is involved in Cassie's disappearance somehow. We just don't know exactly what happened or what he allegedly did. Those are just a couple of my thoughts on it. Please keep Cassie and Cassie's family, especially her daughter Sailor, in your prayers. They all need them really, really badly right now. I'm also going to be saying a prayer that law enforcement freezes Marcus's passport so he can't take off to Brazil with Cassie's daughter. Please share Cassie's flyer, share this video, or any video telling her story. It doesn't even have to be mine. Help get Cassie's face out there so more people know about her, and hopefully she can be returned alive and well to her family, and little Sailor can have her mommy back. That is the most heartbreaking part of all of this. Sailor needs her mom. Thank you all for watching. I will be posting updates, if not in video form, definitely in the community tab of my channel, so make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss those. And go ahead and give this video a like while you're at it. It really does help bump the video up so more people see it and more people will hear about Cassie. I would also highly suggest checking out my entire missing playlist, as each case I cover is super important and every single one of these cases deserves to be heard and deserves the exposure. I appreciate each and every one of you so very much. That's all I have for today, and I will see you next time.